right, students, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching this video from. So this video is about how to secure your private keys or recovery phrases, okay? The best way to do so. So I'm gonna share with you different options, different tips, and you can pick out of those which one and that you think, would work for you. So in module 3, we were able to mention to you the importance of turning off your auto backup on any device on which you're operating cryptocurrency on. Because as humans, naturally, there is this tendency to take a screenshot of our private keys, take a snapshot of our private keys. So it's always best to have the auto backup to any cloud, account turned off. So for any reason you happen to take a picture or a screenshot, doesn't upload into the cloud, either Google or Apple, whatever it is, okay? So I'm gonna just share my screen, give me a moment, and I'm gonna walk you through the basic steps, okay? So yesterday, we're able to look at how we can create a cryptocurrency wallet account using Token Pocket. All right. So, and I'm pretty sure we all followed up on that process. So we're going to use the account we've created to be able to connect, or rather, to be able to show you how we can, save securely our private keys. So just give me a moment while I connect. Just give me one moment. All right. So you are able to see that we created the HD wallet. So on Token Pocket, you could create a HD wallet that encompasses all the networks available, okay, or at least most of the networks, okay. We have Binance Smart Chain, we have Tron, we have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, we have Optimism, we have Arbitrum, we have Polygon, Matic, and so on and so forth, okay? So as you can see, all of these are the different, all of these are the different networks that we have on this HD wallet, okay? Now, the question is, how do we secure the private keys? For one thing, we were able to save our recovery phrase. We were able to write it down when we created this wallet, okay? Now, if you had written down your recovery phrases and you can securely store it the safest way, just like you store your, I don't know, university certifications or whatever certifications that is so important to you, that is hard copy, all right? You can store it that same way. But in this case, it's more sensitive because not just is it important to you, you don't want someone else to have access to it, okay? So if you can do that, fine. However, there are disadvantages to paper wallet storage because depending on where and how you store them, you could either get them damaged or eventually get them lost, okay? I mean, keeping a paper in a particular position for too long, depends on how long you keep it anyways, and how frequently you tend to use it. So there are always disadvantages on everything. So I'm going to share with you several options and you pick out the best one for yourself. So that's one, you can store in the paper. Secondly, you can store your private key, which is the recovery phrase this time. All right, so when we talk about the private keys, let me just show you in a moment here details. So we have the private key, we can export that, and we have the key store, and we also have the recovery phrase, okay? So for this one, for this particular wallet, okay, let me help you understand. Now, there are different networks on this wallet. Now, each network, like you see here, so we have Binance Smart Chain, we have Ethereum, all right? We have Tron. Now, each of these networks, for example, if I select Tron now, it means all the tokens that exist in the blockchain that is available, that is using Tron network, I can have them here. I will not be able to see Binance Smart Chain Network on this page. All right. So if I wish to back up or, secure the private key of just the Tron network, all the coins I have in Tron network, I could choose to use the private key feature right here. Okay. I can export the private key for Tron network. All right. Now, I could also do the same for Binance Smart Chain. Okay. I could click on details and I could export private key for Binance Smart Chain. There is also an option to export key store. Any of these keys can give me access to the Binance, all the coins or tokens that I have in this wallet that is using the Binance Smart Chain network. However, the father of them all is the recovery phrase, because the recovery phrase doesn't just give you access to one network or two, three networks. It gives you access to entire wallet. All right, it gives you access to the entire wallet. And remember, when I was creating this HD wallet, I named it Student Test Wallet. And that's what you see here. All right. And what you observe is I can export the secret recovery phrase. Now, with this recovery phrase, I can, or anyone who has it, can access not just the coins on a particular network, but all the coins or tokens on that wallet. I hope you get the little difference here. All right, so the private key, or rather the recovery phrase, gives you access to the entire wallet. The private key could give you access to just one wallet inside the entire token pocket wallet that you've created. Okay, so having said that, since the private key is the most important or relevant detail I need to keep, how do I store it? We've said we could write it down in a paper. Secondly, like I said, I said never screenshot your recovery phrase. Never screenshot, because whether you have deactivated your auto upload, okay, on any of these cloud applications, you never can tell. I mean, something, you may have been doing something and you just turn it back on, right? So never screenshot your private key. Always write it down. Always. This is best practice. Now, if you feel uncomfortable keeping your private key as you've written it, your recovery phrase as you've written it down on paper, you could choose to, after disabling the auto backup and disabling the internet, make sure that at the time you're using your camera for this process, your internet is completely disconnected. Okay, turn off your internet and then take a photo, a picture of that recovery phrase you've written down. Take a picture and then encrypt that picture using any software. It's up to you. You could zip it up, you could use WinRAR, but I'm going to show you the one I use. Okay, you could use any encryption application, encrypt, and be careful of the encryption application you use, so that it doesn't become an encryption application where the owner of the application sort of has a backup to your password. All right, so be careful. I'm going to show you the one I use. So once you have taken the picture, this is the app you want to go for. It's called RA. For Android users as well as iPhone users, you could use the RA application, this one right here. excuse me, this one right here. All right. So this is the one you could use. And let me just show you an example on how to do that. Okay. So I'm just gonna, give me a second. I'm gonna take a picture of the private key, and then I'm going to show you how I do that. All right, so I'm just going to take a picture. Give me a moment while I take a picture of it. Where? Camera. So this is it. All right, so I take a picture. And remember, I can't turn off my internet now because I'm connecting on Zoom, right? So yeah, since it's not a wallet, I'm gonna eventually use anyway, so that's fine. All right, so make sure you turn on your internet before doing any of this, okay? So now we've taken a picture of it. If we go to gallery, okay, so if we go to gallery, we see the picture we've taken, okay? So we're gonna use the RA app, like I showed you earlier, this one, all right? We're gonna use this one to be able to, encrypt that picture. Now, what we're gonna do, go back to picture, gallery, and then we say share, right? So we're sharing it with RA. So we have to select from the list of applications so it isn't popping up here. So we'll have to click on more, and then we can find the RA, okay? So once we found RA, we select RA, and then it's gonna open up this window for us to rename the file, okay? So I can just rename it to, student test wallet, okay? Student test, sorry, should be capital, students test wallet, okay? So now once I've finished renaming, you notice that there is an option to set password, all right? There's an option to set password. So you want to set a very strong password. Make sure to set a very strong password, okay? So I'm going to use a very simple one. I mean, this is just an exercise or experiment, but make sure to set a very difficult password. However, it should not be too difficult that you forget. Now, this is a very important information you need to keep in mind. The moment, I repeat, the moment you forget the password for this, it's gone. There is nobody you can call that can hack or whatever it is. Even the owners of this software, they just cannot help you. All right? There's no backup, no recovery option whatsoever. You get the point? So put in a password that you can remember. But it should be what? Difficult as well. All right? I hope you understand that. So I'm just going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I'm just going to use this for this test. And you want to make sure to check encrypt file names. Okay? Encrypt file names. And then click on OK. And click on. Now, there's an option here you could either choose to do it afterwards or just do it immediately. What I mean is, you see the option here, delete files after archiving. You want to check this box. So once you check this box, what it does is it deletes the original file that you have just encrypted, and it stores only the encrypted version of the file. Okay, so we're going to choose to do that, and we're just going to click on delete files after archiving and OK. That's it. So you notice if we go to gallery, we have no such picture in our gallery anymore. You have successfully encrypted that picture. So if we didn't check on that box, delete files after archiving, what's going to happen is we would still retain the original picture, and then we would have to come and delete it manually. Okay, so it's best we click on delete files after archiving. Okay, now where can we find this file? Remember the name you used to store it, student test wallet. That's what I use. So I can just easily come to my file manager and search for student test wallet. You see it right here, student test wallet. Okay, that's the file here. Now, the only app I can use to open it is either a RAR file opener or a zip file opener. So if I click here, it's going to tell me I don't have an application to open it. So it's best to find the file using the RAR application. So I'm going to go to the RAR application. And where I can expect to see this, so we need to access the RAR application. And now where can we find this? Now remember, you use your phone to snap. Okay, so it should be in the camera section. And usually the way Android devices are configured, such pictures are usually stored in the DCIM folder. Okay, so in the moment you click on DCIM, okay, on the main page, you click on DCIM, then you see several options: camera, screenshot, restored, screen recording, blah, blah, blah. It's not a screenshot, but we use our camera to take the picture. So we click on camera, and all the pictures we have used or we have taken that are recorded on the camera folder will be right here. Okay, so here we find the student test wallet that we just encrypted. So this is the picture. It will require the password before we can have access to this or to view this picture. So if I put in the correct password, 123456789, okay, it opens up. So I can now view the picture using any application. Now, if for any reason you find it difficult to know where the location of this file is, simply go to your file, your files application, okay, or file explorer, and search for the file like we did before. Search for the file student. Once you see the file, because basically the search searches through all your entire device and locates the file for you. So once you see the file, click and hold, that is, press and hold, all right? And then you see these options below, okay? See these options below. What you want to do is click on more, okay? Click on more, and you'll be able to see the option that says details, okay? So click on details, and then you should be able to see the path to where this particular RAR file has been stored, okay? Path, internal storage, DCIM, DCIM camera, then you see the file. So you can follow this process and say, okay, internal storage, then you have to go to the RAR file, the RAR application, and just follow through internal storage. This is the main one, internal storage. And then the next path is what? DCIM. The DCIM, the next path is what? Camera. We click on camera, and then we find the file. If you have difficulty locating the file, you can simply do this process and it takes you there. Now, this is another option. Remember, by means of doing this, we're able to delete the original picture we took while we were encrypting the file. Otherwise, if you did not do so, make sure to go back, not just deleting it from your pictures, also going to trash, because usually latest Android devices have the trash, like a recycle bin. Go there to delete the file as well. Now, that is another method you can use to secure your private key, okay? Now, a third way, your recovery phrase, I keep saying private keys, okay? So a third way to secure your recovery phrase is by embedding them into a folder or a file name, all right? Or let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so for this part, you want to use a document application like Microsoft Word or WPS to create a text file, all right? So I'm going to use WPS in this case, and I'll just open it up and click on create, okay? So create new document. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type in my private keys, okay? I'll type in my private keys on this document. So this is a second alternative you can use. So I'll just type it in. Not gonna number it this time. I'm just gonna say toast. Sorry, toast. Rhythm. Brick. Okay, answer. Ramp. Annual. Moment. Deliver. Believe. Cry. Fantasy. Provide. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Okay, so I'm gonna click just to bring them down, down and down. Right, so we have all of them here: toast, rhythm, brick, answer, ramp, annual, moment, deliver, believe, cry, fantasy, provide. Okay, so I'm gonna save this, and remember, it's the student test wallet I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna say student test wallet. Sorry, wallet. Okay, so I'm gonna say save. Now I could choose to say save. I could choose to encrypt this. It's up to me. If I encrypt it, it means you must put a password to access this document. Now this is another thing you can do. We use a document creator that allows you to encrypt the document directly. So WPS actually does this. So you could actually choose to do so. But remember, use a password that you can easily remember, but it's difficult for others to, forge. Now, let's forget about encrypting. I mean, it's best for you to do so, all right? If you're using WPS, encrypt the wallet, but that's not a key thing I want to show you. So you can say save. I'm not saving on cloud. You see, there's an option to save on cloud. No, I'm going to save on my phone. So I'll save on document. I say save. Okay, so the name cannot end with a space. So I'll remove the space and click on save. Okay, now the document has been saved to my documents. All right, and I'm just gonna close this. And where can I find this in my document? If I go to files, or file explorer, I would see the recent document here. Okay, so I saved it under the, if I go to internal storage, I go to document, I think it's right here in the first one. Okay, document,
So I should see student file. Let me say student test. All right, so student test wallet. Now this is a Word document as we have, created. All right. Now, in as much as you could still encrypt this document, you can actually change, all right, the suffix of this document. Now, click and hold. You would have the option to rename. Okay, you see the option to rename. We're going to choose to rename this document right here. Okay, now I'm going to click on rename, and I want to change not the name, but I want to change this to, instead of .docx, I'm going to change to .mp3. And of course, to avoid someone suspecting that this is a sensitive document, you could actually choose to do what? Delete this wallet. Just save it with your nickname or something. Okay, and we changed this file extension from .docx to mp3, and we say rename. It's gonna change, blah 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 blah, make it unstable, no problems, we change. So you notice that what happens is, when someone comes across this document, it's a music, and it's going to be asking the person to open this music using a music player. But guess what? It won't work because it is actually not a music file. May be corrupted, and that's it. That's all the person would see, right? But you know that this is your document. So what you can simply do, you change it back to, just gonna rename again. Now you could even change it to a text format, txt. All right. And once it's a text format, you could actually be able to open this and see the file. Oh, no. It's asking to upload first. No, I'm not using Docs. I'm using WPS Office. Okay, so it's determining the kind of document. Right, there we go. See? So the moment you want to have access to this information, you do what? You change the format from .docx to, rather from the MP3 or MP4 you've changed it to previously, you change it back to TXT or DOCX or DOC. As long as the document format, it will open and you can have access to it. So I recommend that you encrypt the file even before saving. So if you use WPS, you could actually choose to encrypt the file on your mobile device and make sure not to forget the password. Something else too is if you're using any software, I mean, if it's Microsoft Word, I'm pretty sure they have that feature that allows you to encrypt your document. So the most important thing is being able to rename this file to a different, file extension by choosing MP4, MP3. So the average person is going to see this. For example, if I put MP4, the average person is going to see this as a video, right? And the person wants to play. The only message the person gets is video corrupted or something went wrong or blah, 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 because of course it won't be able to play, right? So it's never going to be in your list of documents, because when someone is looking for your private key, of course, obviously, is looking for, a document format. I mean, something to, a text, right? Or a screenshot, a picture, but no one thinks about a video or a music. So you could choose to change it to any of these extensions, and there you find your security. Now you don't want to end here. Okay, once you've done all of this and you changed it to what, I don't know, MP4, MP3, doesn't matter. Now what you want to do is to also encrypt this on using your RAR archiver. Okay, you can also share to the RAR archiver I showed you earlier, and you also encrypt this by using your password. So by the time you decrypt the password, you have access to the file, and it's a music only you know is a text document or a Word document. You change the extension name. Once you change the extension name, then you can now decrypt the password, because by the time you had saved document earlier, you encrypted it with a password. You see, this is a 3-layer security. 3-layer security. So even if someone is able to hack and get your RAR password for some reason, which is almost impossible, the person is going to see a music. This person is going to see a video, and what's the point? It's not working. The video is not playing. What extension can we use? Okay, the person manages to know, it's a document extension. The person makes it changes to a document extension. Will the person as well know the password you used to encrypt that document initially? Well, if that ever happens to you, then you know that is someone that is, you have revealed all this information to, that would be successfully able to, crack all of that. Okay? So I hope this video was helpful to you, and make sure or endeavor to like the video as you watch it on YouTube, and look forward to more security tips. Thank you so much, and wishing you all the best.